The word apprentice implies that the student learns under an expert. For example, you wouldn't just take your written test to fly an airplane and then go fly the airplane. You would fly that airplane with somebody seated right beside you. And our apprenticeship opportunities work exactly the same way.
Apprenticeship Carolina is part of the South Carolina Technical College's Division of Economic Development and Workforce Competitiveness. We actually work with companies to register their training programs as formalized apprenticeships.
Cooper Standard became involved with Apprenticeship Carolina through the Spartanburg Community College initially, where they were looking for people to sit on advisory panels and to help mold the basic framework for apprenticeship programs. And so from there it emerged to where we are today. And that's a very good working relationship between Spartanburg Community College and the technical centers like Daniel Morgan right here in Spartanburg.
The work experience working at Cooper Standard has been completely learning from the engineers and the technicians as far as the machines, how they operate, what they do, what makes them do what they do. This is actually very interesting.
There are 3 components of a registered apprenticeship program. There has to be on-the-job training, job-related education, and a scalable wage progression.
It's been a great opportunity for me, to get a better education for myself, to be able to market myself as a more valuable asset to my company.
We probably added 40% in sales volume in the last 2 to 3 years. And as we've done that, our skill set and the number of skilled, trained people in our skilled trades has to continue to grow. We find that hard to recruit for in the open market, and probably the best way to get people trained and to get the skills that we really want and need is through an apprenticeship program.
Currently, we are working with well over 600 South Carolina companies who've registered apprenticeship programs, and over 8,000 South Carolinians have either completed an apprenticeship program or are currently in the process of completing a program. We firmly believe that our Apprenticeship Carolina numbers, both on the company side and on the apprenticeship side, will continue to increase. Since we started in 2007, we have increased those numbers tremendously, and we hope to see those numbers grow over the next several years.
It helps Bosch in many ways, from a talent retention standpoint to workers getting trained early in their careers and becoming more productive for us. And there are even some tax incentives that help the company as well. I think it's the way to go, and I think you'll see it more and more in the future. I mean, when I think of Bosch and its inception back in 1886, it started out as 1 engineer and 1 apprentice. And there's always been that commitment over the last 127 years to workforce development and being involved in our communities. Apprenticeship Carolina helps streamline the process and ensure that we meet the goals and requirements of the program. Keeps us on track. We have 17 current apprentices and 17 that have graduated. We have some that have gone on and worked their way into supervision. And I believe Mike Bryan, who is the father of the program, was an apprentice and has been with the company 35 years. So that's probably the best example there is.
Apprenticeship Carolina has made it much easier to facilitate the process. You know, there's a lot of different areas that you have to make sure are covered. And they've gone out of the way, and it's not somebody you have to go looking for, because they usually check with us, throughout the year. Are there things that you need? How are things going? How about your graduates? How are they doing? And just doing a lot of follow-up. So it's a wonderful partnership.
The process is extremely easy for companies to register a program, but it does require some commitment from human resources managers, training managers, production managers at the facilities sites. In South Carolina, we have a growing number of European-owned companies that are either already have a presence here or are looking to move here. A lot of those companies wish to model their apprenticeship programs as closely as they can to their parent companies in Europe. An apprenticeship program actually works very well for a company in order to formalize those training processes, just to ensure that not only current employees, but any employees that are going forward can have the same type of training and so that those employees are trained the way the companies want them to be trained.